This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 1076 of Horse Tip Daily, your almost everyday morsel of helpful, entertaining horsey facts, theories, and advice. Brought to you today by Cavallo Horse and Rider. Well, greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. On today's tip, Hillary Moore Hebert from Dressage Today magazine joins Dressage radio show co-hosts Reese and Phillip for a chat about winter riding for senior horses. And we'll get right to our tip after this important message from Cavallo Horse and Rider. Cavallo Horse and Rider offers a wide range of innovative products that provide comfort, protection, support, and value for you and your horse. Cavallo's easy-to-use, economical, and effective hoof boots are available in 3 styles and 6 sizes to fit your horse's hooves and your riding style. Cavallo's got your back, too, with their Total Comfort System saddle pads for English, Western, and Tucker saddles. Look for Cavallo's simple, sport, and trek hoof boots and saddle pads at your local tack store, or you can visit them online at cavallo-inc.com.
Well, this is our favorite segment of the month. Hillary Moore Hebert, the contributing editor from Dressage Today, is on. What are we talking about tonight?
So I have plenty of things related to the cold weather. Interestingly enough, this actually does connect because there was an article in the Dressage Health section about aging athletes. And this was really interesting, and I kind of knew this, but I thought that this was a really clear way to say it, is they talked about how your aging horses have just a harder time, with their exercise capacity, and that they can end up with lower oxygen consumption, lower heart rate values, and fatigue induced at lower speeds during treadmill tests. But most importantly, in the winter time, it can be even more exaggerated because they have altered fluid and electrolyte balances. And so in the winter months, it's most important with older horses, just like with the tractor, to really pay attention to the weather, take it easy. And the rule of thumb is that slow and steady wins the race. So you don't want to start doing like this serious Olympic training right when it's the coldest time without really easing into it in a slow way and paying attention to, plenty of warm-up time, building in rest periods, and trying to do some cross-training just for that, so it helps.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, Phillip, you know the most.
Yeah, and to add to that, we really watch hydration of all the horses, but especially the older ones in the winter. And give them a little electrolyte. I know we do it in the summer, when they're sweating a lot, but we also do some electrolyte help for them in the winter as well. But I mean, right now, to be serious, you're not training at all. It's just a little bit for exercise. None of the horses are doing any of the difficult movements. Not even a lot of lateral stuff. It's a strain on the body, right? And so we're just trying to keep the fitness kind of at a certain level and keep the training and to about half an hour and get the horses out of the stalls and just get a little bit done, right? So I think for sure. The older the horse is, it takes them longer to warm up, and especially in the winter, maybe your older horse, 15 plus, is just, going to have a walk day. That doesn't hurt, and you get the training done when the good weather comes right back around, and not to rush it too much. There's no competitions, coming up for another month or 2 or 3 months actually, so it's okay, take it easy.
What do you guys think? What temperature do you work? Would you really start to ride at?
Well, I mean, we go by Celsius here, so usually I'm not riding at all if the core temperature value is not the wind chill, but the regular value is below minus 15. I know I broke that rule a couple times this week just to get on the horses, and because they go a little bit nutso when they're not being ridden. They don't know why they're not being ridden. So, but and then it's got to be.
How cold is minus 15 roundabout? I just put you on the spot. You may have to do the calculation.
I have no idea.
We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Hillary, how about you? How about you, Hillary? What's your...
So It's funny that you said that because I used to live in New England when I was growing up, and I had a lower temperature there, and I would be curious to know what minus 15 is in Fahrenheit, because it seems as though the further south you go,
the temperature, people change the temperature.
Yeah, because we did it where it was like our rule in Massachusetts was if it was 13 degrees, then we would not ride. And down here, we try to do it where if it's 20 degrees, then we don't ride. But I just looked up on the internet, and you stop at 5 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, my God.
It seems like every,
that's kind of like, I'm not going to get on the horse at all.
Sizes you go down, it seems like we're talking about 7 degrees. So it seems like, I wonder if the rule more, and I noticed this too, is it just seems as though sort of what's typical for cold in your area. And for us, except for it being unusually cold right now, I mean, the reason that we usually don't do below 20 degrees is, first of all, like what you were saying, the wind chill makes it even colder. And second of all, that's just not normal cold for us here. So, we'll do shortened turnout. The horses get blanketed up and a lot more extra hay. And a lot of people in the area, including myself, try to watch and do, like a hot bran mash or add some warm beet pulp just to aid with digestion. So.
Yeah, I'm 20. Last year I used to be 15, and then last year, between 15 and 20, there's a big difference. So our 20 is our rule too, and we just don't get typically that cold also in Kentucky. So I know I get it, but yeah, it didn't get above my whole trip. It didn't get above 15. So I was
So. I think the other thing, too, is I noticed this the other day. Your muscles get so tight, whether you're horse or human. And I just reached over to get a half-full muck tub to empty out into the wheelbarrow. And my back was just so tight from being cold, I threw my back out. And I am strong enough. I can lift half a muck bucket full of stuff, but it just is that cold temperature. And I think it's back to sort of what I talked about with older horses too, is you need to have plenty of warm-up time, whatever that cutoff temperature is for you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if the muscles aren't warm, they don't expand and contract properly, and then you're going to create problems, So, lots of walking, lots of slow trotting, and just easy cantering, and then maybe work yourself up to something. But I mean, we have 2 Grand Prix horses here, and they haven't done any PF passage, tempies, pirouettes in probably 2 months. Yeah. I think it's okay. They'll get back to work.
They didn't lose it.
They know the tricks. They know the work. So, it's just all about getting done what you can and what's safe.
Well, there you go. You can find links to today's guests as well as more tips on topics ranging from barn care to websites for horse people at horsetipdaily.com. And don't forget, you can have all of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go with the free Horse Radio Network app for iPhone and Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network, or you can subscribe via iTunes. This podcast was made possible through the generous support of Cavallo Horse and Rider and listeners like you. Learn how you can help support Horse Radio Network programming and qualify for auditors-only perks by going to horsetipdaily.com and clicking on the Become an Auditor banner in the center of the page. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.